Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. I'm sorry. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
To start your show now, press 1 to hear.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Nobody take no cornbread from me.
All right, looking good now. Let's go. Oh, man. Okay, testing. There we go. Looking good here. What up, people? How y'all doing? What is the goings on? There we go. Let's get this phone number up on the board. There it is. All right, folks, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. What is going on? How are you? What's up, Twitch? That's Twitch. What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. My people, my people. Man, we just, amazing. Amazing, folks. Amazing. We're just going to keep doing the work here because that's what matters. Folks, I got a couple of things I want to run down to you. Now, phone lines will open. Phone numbers on the screen. 319-527-6212 is the number. We got some stuff to do tonight. So as I was preparing for tonight's show, guys, first, okay, Let's make sure everybody's hearing okay, because we had an issue at one point Friday. So let's just make sure we're good. Let me verify, because I want to make sure everybody can hear this, because we got some stuff to get into tonight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, fam. Yes, sir. Oh my goodness, there you go. Okay. It's nonsense. We're getting it there. We'll be okay. Here we go. Here's my thumbnail. There we go. There's my thumbnail. All right, here we go. All my Wolfpack members in the house. Let me slow down. Wolfpack, y'all okay? Wolfpack, how the new emoticons coming out? Everything cool? What's up, Wolfpack? What's going on? Much cooler. Okay, that's what's up. All my Johnsons in the house, what's going on? Yeah. Facebook, you're going to have to start coming to YouTube. Going once. Look, we love you. We love you, Facebook, but Facebook, the platform, they just robbed me. They steal from me. They don't want to do no business. If you love this show, you got to start watching it on YouTube, because Facebook is robbing this show. I went viral on Facebook. They just withheld my money like, screw you, black man. 2 months to get a response, and it was still like, we do what we want to do. You told me you owe me money. So, folks, I'm serious, man. Facebook is garbage. You got to start coming to YouTube. Okay. But I respect and love my support on Facebook, because you are not the platform that you're on. You are an individual. So you can give, you can support through YouTube or through Patreon. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you on that. I do. I appreciate you supporting the show, but there's other ways to do it. You know what I mean? Facebook takes a cut anyway. It's not like they just, here goes Tim Black. Your person likes your show. They go, oh, you like his show? Okay. Make change here. Here you go. Oh, I don't know if I want to give you this, Tim Black. Let me think about it. Let me think about this. Let me think this over. All right, here you go. Psych. I got you. With your black hands reaching for this money. All right. Gonna have to be quicker than that, Negro. Oh. That's a little game Facebook plays, y'all. Facebook dirty, man. And I'm not saying YouTube is clean, because it ain't. But I'm saying, right now, Facebook's doing me worse than YouTube. And you know how YouTube does me. Okay, guys. Enough of the jokes. I'm assuming everybody's hearing the show fine. I don't want to be too loud on the mic, because I'm going to get loud tonight, because it's that type of night. Let's start with this. Okay, so I'm on Twitter. You may know me as Real Tim Black on Twitter. If you don't follow me, follow me. We say good shit on Twitter. Here's the deal, guys. We all know we've been covering Nina Turner. I cover at least once a week. I cover with updates of how the campaign's going. You already know I support her. I've been supporting Nina Turner, and I've been aligned with Nina Turner's politics since 2015. So nothing's changed. I didn't know she would run for Congress, but when she decided to run for Congress, I said, hey, I support Nina's efforts. I've been supporting Nina, Medicare for All, in student debt, reparations, all these things. We align. So I cover her every week, now that her campaign's underway. Nothing's changed. I haven't changed. Same support I've always had. So we know her campaign's been doing well, extremely well. It's been going a lot of endorsements from members of Congress, lots of endorsements back home in her home state where it should be, lots of support there. Just amazing outpouring of support from grassroots, which her campaign, which are the challengers in the race, some of them, notably the number one contender, can't say. Small dollar donations from individuals, $27 per donation. No red box on her site, on Nina Turner's site, asking for outside money or super PACs to contribute. So, up to speed, poll done, showing that Nina Turner was getting 50% of the vote in a 13-person race, mind you. So she's doing pretty good. To say she's out front ahead would be an understatement. And everyone knew, like I knew, and a couple other people have reported on this, I knew at that point they're going to try something. Because you can't have a candidate that's talking about Medicare for all, reparations, ending student debt, ending mass incarceration, jobs, trade schools, all these things. Environmental justice, healthcare justice. You can't have a candidate talking like that with a national profile and the Democratic Party just be like, you know what, I'm going to let Ohio do what it do. You can't, that's never going to happen. So I always knew that eventually they were going to come put their finger on the scale to the best of their ability. Well, just to let you know that train is never late. Today, as I was preparing for the show, I noticed that somebody was trending. Nina Turner was trending. I'm like, wow, Nina Turner's trending? Once again, as a progressive candidate, thought that was a little different. You know, when Hillary Clinton endorsed Nina Turner's rival, I said, okay. That made sense. That made sense when it trends because they always trend the establishment person. That's what Twitter does. They control who trends. So now they're trending Nina Turner. I'm like, okay, well, this is different. Then I looked at why she was trending. She's trending because Jim Clyburn is also trending. And Jim Clyburn has endorsed the same candidate that the same candidate that Hillary Clinton. Okay, start over. Jim Clyburn opens his gullet to endorse the same candidate that Hillary Clinton endorsed. The candidate that's backed by the establishment, most of the establishment, the old guard, the old blue wall, Whoopi Goldberg's friends. Okay, just keeping status quo against Medicare for all. I mean, if Medicare for all would happen to become a thing, well, she might support it, but she ain't gonna champion it. She ain't gonna co-sponsor it. She ain't about that life. She likes rapping and smiling and looking cute, but she's not about that legislation. Jim Clyburn chose to support this. No cap, here it is. I discovered it with this article. Number 3 House Democrat steps into Ohio race to head off a Sanders acolyte. Oh, God. That's how I discovered it, and it was this article. Jim Killer Clyburn up in the House. Holding it down for his candidate. There he is. Jim Clyburn, there he is right there. And to answer why he's stepping in, there was this quote from the article. He said, in a rare intervention into a party primary, Mr. Clyburn, a veteran lawmaker, the highest-ranking black member of Congress, endorsed Chantel Brown, Miss Turner's leading opponent. He said his decision to back Ms. Brown, the chairwoman of the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party, was not about Mr. Sanders or even Miss Turner. No, it's not about Nina. No, why would he back a candidate or not back a candidate based on that candidate? No, of course not. That's crazy talk. See, that's crazy. Jim Clyburn doesn't decide who he endorses based on who's the better candidate, who's the candidate going to do the most for the people. That's what he said. It's not based on Nina. Well, what's it based on, Jim Clyburn? I'll tell you what it's based on. Let's use his own words. Jim Clyburn says it's based on the chairwoman. Was that about Mrs. Sanders or even Mrs. Turner, who remains a favorite before the contest on August 3rd in the heavily Democratic district? But he took a swipe at what he called sloganeering of the party's left flank, which has risen to power with calls for Medicare for all, and to abolish ICE and defund the police. Yeah, folks. That's it. Jim Clyburn has stepped into this race to endorse a less experienced candidate with basically an invisible platform that's calling for outside money from super PACs, who does not talk about policy. Her entire campaign has been built on, Nina Turner said a mean thing about Joe Biden that one time, and I'm going to go in and kiss his ass if given the opportunity. That's pretty much been her campaign from this point on. It has not resonated in Ohio. Obviously, it resonates with the petty Hillary Clintons and Jim Clyburns of the world. But Jim Clyburn's not even concerned about Shontel Brown's background, her tactics of her campaign tactics, or even what her vision is. As long as they know they're going to have somebody that's going to fall in line, they're good with that. Clyburn said in his own words, it's about slogans. He don't like Nina Turner fighting for that Medicare for all. He don't like Nina Turner talking about ending mass incarceration or defunding the police, which we all know is reallocation of funding to other entities, not just dumping the money into the police, but mental health, care for children, camps, and being able to have places for children to go after school or before school or when there is no school, different programs, different mechanisms that would make a community safer, reimagining how do not just say, hey, how do we get more people to lock people up or try to show up after a crime is committed? What can we do to better support our communities? Because just over-policing ain't working. But Clyburn don't care about that. No, he cares about slogans. He don't like the words defund the police. He don't like the words Medicare for all. Nor the policy either, because he's never endorsed it. So his real problem with Nina Turner is that these programs, these ideas, particularly Medicare for all, supported by the vast amount of Americans, Democratic, Republican, or Independent. It's not just a Democratic Party thing. It's an American thing. People need health care. You'll hear, if Jim Clyburn paid attention, he'd know that 1 million Ohioans lost their health care, their employer-based health care due to the pandemic. And he's upset about sloganeering. This is the time for Medicare for all, and that's what Nina's running on, and he don't like that. Because it's a sloganeering. It's the left flank trying to come to power. And if anything else, Jim Clyburn don't want to see the left flank. And when he says left flank, make no mistake about that. That's the will of the American people. See, there are people that are confused, and there are people that are not aware of what's going on. And then there's operatives who are propping up the establishment. Let me show you what I mean by that.
They got money.
Let's not do that. You see, this is what real people think. Big Pharma owned Clyburn like an old piece of luggage. He going wherever they take him. Results. We get BS like this. More money for cops, and with the bill named Floyd, and nothing for black Americans. I respect no one that doesn't give a fuck about me or those who enable them. That's a real person. That's how the people feel. Obviously, Clyburn likes the symbolic nature. But when it gets down to brass tacks about what we're going to do about it, when we talk about actual results, when we talk about actual policies that impact black people, he's not about that life. Chantel Brown, not about that life. That's why they support her. It's not just language, guys. It's not just Nina Turner is outspoken and they don't want someone more politically correct. Don't be fooled by that. They want to fool you that that's what this is about. That ain't what it's about. It's about her policies. Black people, you cannot allow yourself to be fooled by these people that want to maintain status quo. And their operatives on Twitter, whether they be ignorant or whether they be paid, to confuse the issue and muddy the waters. So they're using a comment that Killer Mike made about Joe Biden recently at an event over the weekend about Clyburn and about Joe Biden, and there was a critique that needed to be made. It's a critique. It's something that a lot of us feel that resonates with us. From Ohio to D.C. to wherever you live, I'm sure you'll find those who resonate with this point of view, particularly if you're African American, if you're black in America. Here goes the statement that they say made Clyburn come out and endorse Chantel Brown. You know, because his feelings was hurt.
What I realized when I saw people like Clyburn, which I don't have a problem with in South Carolina for the good work he's done, but I think it's incredibly stupid to not cut a deal before you get someone elected president, and the only thing you get is a federal holiday and nothing tangible out of it.
Talk about
it. And
now, hold on. I'm on these internet streets all the time. This is what the Tim Black Show does. I got my ear to the ground all the time, being aware of what's happening. I don't know what Clyburn's doing, but there are a lot of Americans, a lot of black Americans, who are not appeased by Juneteenth being made a federal holiday. It was already a holiday for us. You giving white folks the awareness of Juneteenth is not a bigger deal as you want to make it to be. We would much rather had health care. We'd have much rather had reparations. We would much rather have. There's a number of things we would much rather have that we would want Clyburn to fight for us to get, to pry out of the hands of Joe Biden. But Clyburn ain't about that life. So Killer Mike is saying, hey man, you gave Joe Biden South Carolina. What did you get for it? This shit? Juneteenth being made a holiday so some people get a day off work. Meanwhile, us, we all know we're going to get an extra day. They're going to make us choose between Juneteenth and Columbus Day and some other white person day. They're going to make us, it ain't like we get an extra day. You have to choose, okay, what you want, MLK Day or Juneteenth Day, or you call Columbus Day. Which day you want to take? And the working people are going to still be working on that day, Jim. And Jim Clyburn enablers who want to make this about, oh, Killer Mike disrespected Jim Clyburn. Oh, because he held his ass accountable? That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to question authority. You're supposed to challenge those in power. Oh, it get worse because Killer Mike has the audacity to talk about what real people say or express the views held by most voting people who are not kissing the butt of the Democrats but want some actual tangibles for the black community.
what I realized when I saw people like Clyburn, which I don't have a problem with in South Carolina for the good work he's done, but I think it's incredibly stupid to not cut a deal before you get someone elected president, and the only thing you get is a federal holiday and nothing tangible out of it.
Talk about
it. And that criticism is with love, because I'm going to still come through your state, and I don't want state troopers to stop me. But what I realized is you got folks taking the bag on both sides, and you have people in the Democratic and Republican parties that are far more loyal to the people in corporations and the corporations that sponsor their running than they are to the people who actually vote to get them there. And there's what I realized when.
There it is, Johnson. There it is. Now, instead of people rebuking or retorting to what Killer Mike stated in that clip, they want to act offended. Because there's really no comeback for it. You're supposed to be negotiating on behalf of Black America as the number 3 person in the Democratic Party, and what do you get for your acquiescence to the making Joe Biden the man? What do you get for handing over South Carolina? What do you get for it? A day we already had, nothing tangible for us, and now you upset because somebody said it. You didn't know that people were saying it already. Jim Clyburn, you need a new staff, you need new people around you, or you need to have several seats. Matter of fact, that's what I think it is. I think it's always at some point, people had to sit down. And it's not disrespectful to say that. Time comes for all of us. Now, for you, it's coming the way of also payments have come for you. I was talking about this in 2017, how you were taking all this pharmaceutical money. I talked about it in 2017, in 2018, in 2019, in 2020. And while other people who are propped up by the establishment were running interference for Jim Clyburn, supporting him, even going so far as defending him, the criticism that he was given, I held my ground because it's not about him as an individual. It's about what's he doing for the people? Is he on the dole? Is he grifting? Is he taking money? Is his focus where it needs to be? Or do the donor class have his ear? Now, if you're taking more pharmaceutical money than anybody else in Congress, what does that say? Then you just so happen not to want Medicare for all. Now you're against Nita because she wants Medicare for all. I mean, I'm just connecting dots to the land right there, Johnson. I mean, I'm just picking up sticks. What would you have me believe? The sky is blue. Grass is green. Water is wet. And if you take money from the pharmaceutical industry and you just so happen to be the third ranking member in the Democratic Congress and have the ability to go to Joe Biden and make demands to him because you are giving him essentially the presidency, and you don't use it to our benefit, use it for this presumptive, this symbolic gesture, this hollow, vacant, empty gesture, as empty as kente cloth, being used as a stand-in for actual change, actual legislation or reparations, upliftment, equity. There's also this.
What I realized when I saw
in this article, they don't even have the decency to use Senator Nina Turner's name in the masthead. This guy, Jonathan Weissman for the New York Times, he calls her a Sanders acolyte, underling, a Sanders hanger-on, a Sanders, Senator Nina Turner, listen here, fella, Jonathan Weissman. You may not like Nina Turner's politics. I get that. I understand that. You're part of the establishment. You just put out a book, Anti-Semitism, I think it is. Part of some organizations that may be responding to Chantel Brown's little red box on her website, the dog whistle box, to let people know she's open for donations from certain groups. You may not appreciate Nina Turner's advocacy for working people, particularly black people, poor disenfranchised people across this country. But what you do not get to do, Jonathan Weissman, is to erase her. Black women have been leading families in the black community. Black women have been the loudest voices in this movement. You do not get to erase them because you disagree with them politically. You can kiss my ass and a million or 40,000. I think that's how many donations she's got. You can kiss all the asses of all the grassroots donations. or the folks who gave grassroots donations to Nina Turner that Chantel Brown can't even make claim to because she's getting funded by big super PACs and corporations. Your disrespect will not go unchallenged here, Jonathan Weissman. But you notice, see, here's the thing. The supporters of Jim Clyburn don't care that a black woman's name can't even be used in a hit piece that they're aiming at her at this point of the campaign. I mean, we're only a week away from early voting. Desperation has ensued upon the Chantel Brown. I expect more haymakers and flailing of the dying campaign of Chantel Brown to knock over more China than the bull in the China shop as the death throes of a body as of a campaign that is facing the afterlife, if there will be one for her. Because with the exposure of the lack of substance in your embodiment, in your political philosophy, Chantel Brown, is becoming apparent that you're only where you are. What did Mrs. Smith say in that town hall? Not because of your work ethic, but because of favoritism? Not my words. I'm not from Ohio. I'm just saying what other respectable, notable state senators have stated on the record about self. But here's the thing, guys. I'm not the only one who thinks this is a desperation attempt by a Democrat. This is the prevailing opinion of those who pay attention to this. I think this meme sums it up perfectly. Shout out to whoever posted this. This is amazing.
They got funny.
Oh, this is Chantel Brown's campaign flatlining.
They got funny. Funny, wake up, I need you. No, you stay with me. You stay with me. Funny.
Let's see. The joke here, this is Clyburn trying to wake up Chantel Brown's campaign. One more time. It's hilarious.
Funny. Oh, God.
But those moments when she did.
No, see, and here's the thing. Here's the kicker, man. Here's the kicker. Chantel Brown's campaign can't wake up because it never was awake to begin with. See, in The Walking Dead, the zombies, they're not really woke, they're dead. They pass on there. There's no brain activity. It's all instinct. That instinct is to eat and devour. That's Chantel Brown's campaign. It's not on life support. It never was alive. It was dead from the beginning. It's been dead from the door. I've been waiting for the opportunities to go a little harder on a campaign I've seen as feckless. That's not even my opinion. That's the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Wasn't there a newspaper that said, local newspaper that said people were going in and looking at Chantel Brown's campaign and they left thinking, gosh, they would really like to stop in there, but when you listen to Chantel Brown talk about her vision for Ohio, there's no there. Not my words. So anyway, guys, Jim Clyburn is doing a Jim Clyburn, and we've seen this before. This is him. This is what he does. It's what he did in 2020. No new tricks. We know you, Jim. This is your MO. Some of us will call you out for it. I guess now everyone's calling him out now, though. It's easy now. Became easier. Some of us been calling it out from day one, though. This is keep it real, okay? I want credit for that shit because others now want to black it up. You know, that's the way to go now. They want to pretend to be about this life. I don't expect this to end. I expect there to be more of this. I expect there to be, we already had Hillary, then we get Clyburn, and oh my God, wouldn't it be something else if somebody else all of a sudden popped on the scene with something to say? to add their 2 cents, to put their arm on the scale, to weigh in some way, if not directly, maybe indirectly? Who could that person be?
Bunny! Bunny, wake up, I need you!
Former President Obama just speaking out now about the dangers of misinformation. President Obama warned that the speed and prevalence of misinformation has increased in recent years and that it worries him and should worry everyone. His comments echo some of what he wrote in his latest memoir, and they come as part of an appearance today at the American Library Association annual conference.
The degree to which misinformation is now disseminated at warp speed in coordinated ways that we haven't seen before. And that the guardrails I thought were in place around many of our democratic institutions really depend on the two parties agreeing to those ground rules, those guardrails. And that one of them right now doesn't seem as committed to them as in previous generations. That worries me. And I think we should all be worried.
Yeah. Well, I think we should all be worried, but not about what Obama's talking about, which I'm not sure is clear as the word salad. I mean, come on, sometimes speaking directly really pays dividends to the listener. I mean, people would like to know exactly what the hell you're talking about. But I think that the misinformation I think he's alluding to, I think that is prevalent on the left and the right. But this goes to a broader point, which is he's back. So I expect in the coming weeks, if this Clyburn endorsement doesn't make Ohioans totally forget that Shontel Brown's been asleep at the wheel, totally forget that she does not have a vision for Cleveland, kissing Joe Biden's ass, being a puppet for Joe Biden is not a policy prescription, nor is it leadership. Sounds like something out of Django. Yes, a boss. That's a boss. Big Daddy. I don't know what you quite mean, Big Daddy. Playing that role is not going to get those children housed. Playing that role is not going to bring jobs to Ohio. Playing that role is not going to get health care. And playing that role, damn sure, ain't going to get us no closer to reparations. But see, that's not what her goal is. Her goal is careerism. Shontel Brown's goal is careerism. Climbing the ladder, kissing butt, the right butts, being in the right spot, smiling the right way. And that's not what inspires people. But keep your eyes open, folks. I expect Obama, because this ain't going to work, Clyburn. Valiant effort, sir. But we already know you. And we already know we need to rely on actual leadership, not kowtowing to establishment. And instead of being upset or angered or offended that someone dare question Jim Clyburn or call his actions less than intelligent or wise or strategic, instead of getting upset about that, you should be upset about the damn condition of black people in America and why Jim Clyburn has been in office for damn near 40 years and what has he really done to address these issues. In my opinion, Killer Mike was being charitable when he talked about Jim Clyburn. I would have been a lot more scathing in my rebuke for his activities. Big Mike, Killer Mike did not even bring up the pharmaceutical money. He didn't bring up the fact that Jim Clyburn is perfectly fine with removing the end qualified immunity portion from the George Floyd Policing Act. And you have a problem with the words of Killer Mike, you damn sure don't want to hear what Tim Black has to say. But if you do want to hear what Tim Black has to say, subscribe to this channel where we leave no punch unthrown. For the people, though. For the people. Not for Joe Biden, not for Kamala, but for the people. And while you're here, Go to NinaTurner.com. Donate to a real, people-driven, people-powered campaign. I'm through with you. I'm glad y'all starting to fight dirty, because now I can fight harder, because I don't want to be accused of being too hard on y'all. All right, Yvette, Nicole? All right, we ready now. Popping off of my timeline. What is wrong with you? All right. I've been saying for a while, if you're a friend of the show, if you're not, go to jointimblack.com, because that's where you become a friend to the show, where you become a member of the show. Because if you were a member, you know I've been supporting police reform forever. I didn't start with George Floyd. I didn't start with Breonna Taylor. I didn't start with Sandra Bland. It's been years. One of the mechanisms I think that will bring forth change beyond where we are now, we're doing some things. People are waking up. The cell phones help. But the reality is, just not enough people are really aware of the predicament. What's really going on with policing? Like, for instance, take this stat, for instance. Since 2005, there's only been 7 officers convicted. 7 officers convicted in police shootings in the country. That's 15 years. But we have over 1,000 reported entanglements or violence, shootings, cop on civilian every year. So you do the math. Over a 15-year period, there's only been 7 convictions of police officers, though there are over 1,000 cops killing civilians every year. On average, some years there's more than 1,000. This year we're set to do more than 1,000. That's not even 1%, okay? Not even 1% of the shootings do cops be convicted of anything. Only in 100 of them, 139 of them, were they even charged. We're talking thousands. We're talking roughly 15,000 murders, cops murdering civilians. Only 139 cops even charged, Johnson. One of the problems I think we have with ending qualified immunity, which would make it more possible for us to hold cops accountable, literally hold them accountable instead of them being immune, but them being able to be charged. This is the way we must go. We must end qualified immunity in order to get there. And one of the barriers to that, at least I've been told, is that white people are not aware that their kids die too. That for every Tamir Rice, maybe not for everyone, but 1 out of 3 cop deaths are white folks, right? Something like that. I mean, the number of white kids that are killed by cops, that exists. The number of white men that are killed by cops, that exists. But the publicity for those types of situations, those interactions that go completely off the rails, unnecessary killings, they just get underreported. Well, in Arkansas, a community is standing up because they saw a young man by the name of Hunter Britton, one of their own, shot and killed by a police officer that should never have happened. And they are protesting that. In the last couple of days, that's been an ongoing protest, and people are not talking about it. Once again, in order for us, this channel is about galvanizing around changes that matter, whether they're legislative or grassroots, changes that we can implement and impact that will make a change and make some physical gains, some tangible gains that make life better for us, our children, our children's children, children of our neighbors, and some kids will never know. That's the goal of this channel. Not just to get bigger, but to be better, get better, and make a difference. During a traffic stop in Arkansas, a sheriff's deputy shot and killed a teenage boy who was only armed with a neon blue jug of antifreeze. Lanoke County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Michael Davis stopped 17-year-old Hunter Britton near Cabot, Arkansas at about 3 a.m. last Wednesday. It's unclear why, but Hunter had been having trouble with his truck when Davis pulled in behind him outside of a local auto repair shop and flashed his emergency lights. Now, Hunter was not by himself. He had a 16-year-old friend in the car with him. He said Hunter went to put the antifreeze behind the back tire so his vehicle wouldn't roll into the officer's vehicle, and that's when Davis fired at him. Now, I know somewhere in the minds of loopy cop apologists, a jug of antifreeze looks just like a gun, but where I come from is a big difference. They're not the same thing. This officer was so scared, apparently, he shot young Hunter in the neck, killing him. The community there is outraged, as they should be, and they've been protesting for days, as I stated earlier. Here goes a little bit of that protest.
Well, Kevin, things much quieter tonight. I want to go ahead and show you these protesters here in the parking lot at the Lonoke County Sheriff's Office tonight. This group says they want to focus solely on Hunter's memory tonight. And here behind me, the Sheriff John Staley just got done meeting with friends and family out here. You can hear them out here now chanting justice for Hunter. He told them, quote, "I am the most transparent sheriff around." Let's take a listen to some of this really quick. Hang on. These chants have been going on now for probably the last 30 minutes. We just heard from Sheriff John Staley, who came out here, addressed this.
What I found most ironic about this is that Hunter had been up working on, he was a NASCAR driver, an aspiring NASCAR driver, right? And the young man was working on his truck. He had just put in a new transmission. He said, but the transmission was slipping. They had just pulled out of the auto repair shop. Okay? He had just fixed his transmission, taken the truck out for a test drive when Davis pulled him over, according to the teen riding with Hunter, and his uncle's knowledge of this incident. The shifting linkage in the truck was messed up, so when they pulled up, the truck was rolling backwards. Hunter got out to stop the truck from hitting the officer's vehicle. He grabbed his antifreeze, and that's when Officer Davis fired. Jordan King, the teen with Hunter the night of the incident, said that the officer didn't even say anything before he shot Hunter. He just shot him. All he was doing was working on the truck. That is it. So, folks, it's happening. It's happening. People are responding to it. What's going on with the police? I suspect they have been responding. It's just the lack of coverage of these events. Because I don't care who you are, if someone shoots your son, someone shoots your daughter, someone shoots your husband, someone shoots your father, you're upset about it, whether it be somebody in the street or if it be an officer. And the difference is we don't pay salaries of people in the street. They're not given a license to serve and protect. They haven't taken an oath. They haven't been trained. They are just people. Cops are held to a higher standard, and they should be. People say, Tim, when will this all stop? When will police brutality stop? When will it end? When we end qualified immunity? And when the voices of the family of Hunter Britton are as loud as the voices of the families of Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, India Kager, and George Floyd. I know there's a GoFundMe. By the time I make this a separate clip, I will have had the link to the GoFundMe, because in America, that's all we have are GoFundMes. No fucking justice, just GoFundMes. No health care, just GoFundMes. It's fucking disgusting, man. I'm about to end tonight, end my 17. Just shoot him dead. Shoot him in the neck. Okay, so here we go. One more story, then I open up phone lines, guys. I know it's late. I got to do this. This is important. It's going to be quick. Let's make quick work of these jerks over at Fox News. You know, I got to listen to people who are so pissed with Democrats as they sound a little bit like they favor Republicans, but they say they don't favor Republicans. But I get it. They get so tired of Democrats to go, where else could I go? Well, there's the Green Party. There's a Green Party, and there's a Workers' Family Party, and there's a Workers' Family Party, and there's the Green Party, and there's a Democratic Socialist of America. There are other parties. But when it comes to news, they're like, oh, what do I watch? I'm tired of watching CNN. I'm tired of watching MSNBC. They lie to me, they lie to me, they lie to me. They sell me a bill of goods on these Democrats. So then they start watching Fox News, and they think, oh, at least now I'm getting lied to in a different voice. And that's all it is. It's a different voice. If that's what you're looking for, I guess you got it. But when it comes to facts, Fox News is one of the worst. One of the worst, if not the worst. Case in point, this guy's Jesse Waters. Hey, look, I know it's important to be on a platform. I understand it's important to have your voice out there. But working with a Jesse Waters or having to pretend that Jesse Waters is a serious journalist, commentator, or even human being, that's a huge leap. I would not want to have to make that decision. I mean, that's disgusting. Jesse Waters here in this clip is talking about the Oakland Police Department. He's talking about defunding the police. I want you to listen to this clip, but I have some facts for you right after that will have you looking at Jesse Waters. They are sort of the same person. Jesse Waters with the clear eyes.
Joining me now exclusively, Oakland Police Chief LaRon Armstrong. All right, Chief, so 4 murders in 48 hours there. They're trying to slash your budget for, I think, 18 mil. It's going to cause slower 911 response times, less cops on the street. That's a criminal's dream. Do you think the political leadership in Oakland is dumb?
No, I don't call them dumb. I just think that there are some idealistical community members and community leaders who believe that less police resources and more violence prevention will make the city safer.
Okay, we're not going to let them get through all their lies. We're going to cut through the chase. Cut 1. Folks, first of all, Jesse Lee, they aren't dumb, Jesse. They're just not dumb enough to believe you. And the fact that they're pushing back on this budget goes to show just how smart they actually are. Look, this is from Council President Nikki Fortunato Boss. The action that we took on the budget was reducing a proposed increase by the mayor from $27 million more to just $9 million more. It was not a cut. I repeat, it was not a cut. The increase had not gone into effect, and they decided instead of increasing it $27 million more, the increase is just $9 million more. The mayor had assigned it, and that is what she wanted to contribute. But Gallo said getting a $9 million increase instead of a $27 million is not a reduction. It's not a cut. See how disingenuous fucking Fox News is and Jesse Waters is and this police chief is? LaRon Armstrong is a lying by omission asshole. It is what it is.
But we clearly don't believe you need to reduce police forces in order to achieve safety. We believe that we need more resources to address the high spike in crime in the city of Oakland. And that's really what I've been asking for, is more support and more resources to address the serious issue we're facing here.
LaRon is lying again. And Jesse won't call him out. Here it is. The money that's been sitting there every year, but they didn't follow through, he said. They didn't hire. They never came close to 782. Hold on a second. Let me back up here. It's in the end of the second page here. Let's see this. Here we go. An outspoken advocate for the police, Gallo said he's angry that the police department is complaining about staffing shortages. He said years ago he got the funding to fully staff the department at 782 officers, but it never happened. Let me go back on the screen here, guys. This is important. I want you to know how they lie. See, people have been floating this idea that it's just like, a right wing or left wing thing or whatever, or about that there is something more sinister at hand here when it comes to the left and the right. But what I want to show you is that Fox News, Trump's home playing field, where fake news, hold on, the Fox News is horrible and that the lies are prevalent. And you can find lies if you dig. And all I did here is dig. It took me all of 10 minutes to find that Jesse Waters was covering for the Oakland Police Department and that they're lying through their teeth. And that LaRon is a spokesperson for a lying narrative. Follow this. They gave the police department more money to hire more people. Folks, they didn't hire more people. You know what they did? They used the more money to give themselves overtime. They used the more money that was allocated where they were supposed to hire more officers. Instead, they said, hey, let's put some more money in our pockets. Let's work more overtime. That's how they spent the money instead of spending it for the more resources. You understand what I'm saying? And then when the people say, okay, you don't want to hire more officers, you know what? Let's use the money other ways. So what other ways are they trying to use the money that the police were not trying to spend on more officers to begin with?
Joining me now exclusively, Oakland Police Chief LaRon.
Instead of funding the additional academies, the council decided to use the money for crisis response programs that do not involve the police as a way to de-escalate violent interactions between officers and the public. Now I'm going to drop down here to the bottom. We're talking about mental health crisis response will now be hired by the fire department and traffic nuisance issues will be shifted to the transportation department. They have money now, but there's still more violence right now. So they want more money. It's not really being utilized for what it should be. It shouldn't just be for guns. It should be for counselors. Folks, the whole point here is Jesse Lee. I could call him Jesse Lee. Jesse Waters is horrible. He knows what he's saying is lies. And if he doesn't, then he's abdicating his duty as a journalist. And if he's not a journalist, a spokesmodel for the right or for false narratives, he's still misrepresenting the facts here. Whatever he's doing, it's bullshit, whatever it is. The Oakland Police Department will give him money. They were given money to hire more officers. They didn't use the money for hiring more officers. They used it to pad their pockets and give themselves overtime. The cut that Jesse's complaining about, that he calls these people stupid for implementing, is not actually a cut. Because it didn't cut their current budget. It's a decision. It's a decision to not give them as much money more than what they already had. To not increase the budget more than $9 million. They only increased it $9 million. They wanted a $29 million increase. Instead, they got a $9 million increase, and they're still upset because to them, that's a cut. This is a false narrative. Now, Jesse could have told it straight, but he chose not to. What I want people to realize is that, yes, we can hold both sides accountable, but at least recognize that both sides have things to hold them accountable for. And that Fox News is a propaganda arm of the right wing, and these other channels are maybe propaganda arms of the left wing. No, not the left wing, I'm sorry. Corporate wing. Because there really is no left wing on TV. There really is no black wing on TV. Well, they have the Black News Channel. We got the Tim Black Show. We got the Terrain Walker Show. We got the Reset Race Podcast. We got a few. The point is, we don't fall for the okie doke, don't fall for the bullshit. Jesse, horrible person, we know that. There's so much focus on Tucker Carlson. I just thought it was important to kind of divvy it up a little bit. Spread the mockery around, because the fakery, which is the fuckery of Fox News, is not just Tucker Carlson. It's also this guy. And it's also The Five, and it's Laura Ingraham, and all the other assholes who permeate that fake news organization. The funding the police is reimagining policing in a different way. It's not just giving cops money to sit on their ass or get overtime. It's about actual intervention. Look it up. All right, guys, I know it's late. I had to do it. It took longer than I thought. But we're going to go to phone lines and get a couple calls in. Tomorrow, tune in tomorrow where I'm going to do, I'll be covering some other topics during the day tomorrow, because I like doing shows during the day as well. Yeah, I figure like more is better. Phone lines open if people are up. I'll take a couple calls. Let's make it happen, folks. My first call in the queue is 352. 352. You are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Tim, you could save me for last. I just called just in case at the end of the show you're like, where's everybody? That happens often. Just in case at the end of the show, every call. Anyway, listen, you did a great job. Again, as usual, you knocked it out of the park. But how can I, really, Tim, tonight, I'm really like, I just want to have your back just in case you're like, where's everybody falls? I said, not that happened. I said, but just in case at the end, he's like, what's everybody falls asleep? I said, I want to just have his back tonight. So, you know what? You could skip me right now. If you got time at the end, put me back on. I'm holding on. I'll listen right now.
My brother.
I'll give you a couple of things that was on my mind I was talking about. When you say, I want to know, Tim, why was James Clyburn so powerful? I don't understand where he got the power from, number one. Where the hell, why was he such a big influence? You know, I don't know what he did to become such a big influence. So that's one thing. I'll leave it at one thing for now, kid. I'm still hanging on to the phone. So go ahead, my friend. I got you back in case everybody else goes their sleep, because you know what? I love you. All right. Go ahead, my friend. I love you. Yeah.
Hey, give it up for Gary, man. Gary is all heart. He really supports the hell out this show, man. And yeah, that's what it is. And Gary's just down for us. So and down for my show and down for me as trying to bring this news to people, man. But that's a good question that Gary asks. He's like, what is it about Clyburn? Well, Clyburn, once upon a time, was an activist. Yeah, he was an activist who supported in the civil rights era. He did great things. In fact, he met his wife while being locked up for protesting. Yes. It was Jim Clyburn and his wife, rest her soul, Mrs. Clyburn, they were down for the cause, man. They were freedom fighters, man. So, like most villains, at one time he was a hero. Jim Clyburn had done some things in his time, his earlier years, man, that you can't take that away from him. But the problem is, as time went on, he became absorbed into the Democratic machinery. His focus switched to more inter-party advancement, and his cachet with black folks is being used against black folks without black folks even knowing it. And that has continued till today. What started off as a leader, a self-sacrificing leader, laying it on the line for his people, turned into someone who's became alpha power, alpha money, trying to contend in a party that is about fundraising and it's about who kisses who butt and who supports what and how they politic within politics for their party. And that's what it became. And if that's your focus no longer becomes that of the people, but it becomes that of the organization. That's the problem with Jim Clyburn. But those that finally remember the Jim Clyburn of old have not gotten the upgrade. They haven't refreshed their hard drives. They're still seeing Jim Clyburn. How can I put this? They still look at Jim Clyburn like the first iPod or the first iPhone. They don't realize that their charger doesn't fit the new one. Because the new Clyburn don't run on the same shit he ran on back in the day. What he runs on now is pharmaceutical money, tap dancing for the Democratic Party. And that ain't black shit. That ain't black empowerment. That's not fighting for the people. That's fighting for Jim Clyburn and those in his circle. There it is. It ain't pretty, but it's accurate. That's my opinion. All right, let's go to the next call. We got somebody hanging out in the queue. I got a 718 number in the house. 718, you're there. What's your name? What's your comment?
Peter.
Hey, Peter, what's up?
I actually have two comments, if that's okay.
What's up,
Is that
Peter?
all right if I have two comments?
Go ahead, Peter.
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
What's your comment, Peter?
All right, this is my comment. From the first guy with Jim Clyburn, well, I forgot. I'm just going to say my original comment. What you were talking about with Fox News, that they're corrupt, they do fake news and all that. So does CNN, MSNBC. I'd rather just watch you instead of watch all three of them combined. They're all corrupt when you think about it. That's it. I forgot what I was going to say about the Jim Clyburn thing.
All right, guys.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. I didn't know you were still there. Did you make your comment?
I have no idea what's going on. I can't hear anything.
All right. All right, guys. It's going to be a short night tonight. Yes, great. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for being here. Shit, I didn't get that. Okay, so we got some comments here, guys. Music is life. We all need to donate to Nina Turner and everyone like her if we want anything to change. Say no to placating nonsense. We need tangibles. Keep speaking truth to power, brother. Thank you, Music is life. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Tony DeMille says, Clyburn is a tool. Nina's a real joy. Yeah. Nina is a real joy. Yep. I got some comments from my people, Tim Black's Wolfpack, commenting about the media. Look, I'm not saying, see, here's the thing. As a person in media, it was my first love, man. This is what I wanted to do with my life. But it's so hard to make it in the media game. The folks you see on these news networks, that's 1%. That's the top 1%. My entire life, when I was a kid, man, I was a writer. And I'm trying to tell you, when I got a job at a local newspaper here in D.C. called the Capital Spotlight, it wasn't even a desk job. It wasn't a job of benefits. It was just like, we'll pay for your parking and your travel and per word, but so it wasn't a job to raise a family on. I already had a family. So look, it's difficult to make it as a journalist or as a writer, and hell no as a commentator, as an analyst, any of these things. Uphill battle. So I understand that, but the problem is you try so hard to get into a space, and then how is that space run? What's the politics of that space? What's the narratives that they're making you, that you have to succumb to in order to be a part of that machinery? Thank you. I appreciate you. So that's the problem. And I gotta imagine that's on both sides. When I say both sides, I mean that's corporate media. Not both sides. I gotta get out of saying that. Because it's not about left or right. It's about corporations controlling the narrative. It's about corporations who are funded by corporations and funded by the rich and wealthy that want a certain narrative put out there. That's what it's about. They have a certain... Obama's right about guardrails, but that exists within organizations. So if you work on MSNBC, they have criteria. They have a certain talking point they want you to carry. If you work for CNN, same deal. If you work for Fox News, same deal. Or they will have a talk with you, and if you don't listen, they will let your ass go. Ask the late Ed Schultz. This is what happens. So either you're willing to walk away from that, or you become a part of the machinery. That's it. That's the deal. The Honorable Chris Dormer says, I just subscribed. Please keep talking that real, my brother. You got it. You got it, fam. I appreciate you. Look, so you work your ass off to get a job in journalism or in TV or whatever it is, and then you find out. Then you find out. You don't find out going in. How many people really know how bad a job is till they get it? And then you have these career goals, these career ambitions. And people say all types of shit to justify what they do. So at the end of the day, man, we got to be willing to walk away and not perpetrate bullshit. But to me, Jesse Waters, with his snide arrogance, his cockiness, I don't think that's his problem. I think he's happy doing what he's doing. I never see any reluctance in his eyes at all when he's spewing bullshit. But this story is a patented, it's just a bold-faced lie. It is a cornucopia of fuckery is what it is. It's so misleading, it should be locked up for driving and driving while intoxicated. I mean, it's so off the road. Its license should be suspended. That's how bad it is. Okay, so I just want to point that out to folks because this is how people form their opinions. I mean, Jesse was selling it like there's all this crime in Oakland and all this is going on. And now they want to cut police, these horrible people. They want to cut funding. No, we just don't want to raise it as much. And when you gave you more money for cops, you spent it on overtime. You didn't hire more cops. And that may be why the crime rate went up, because instead of hiring more mechanisms to curtail crime or to combat crime, they spent it on themselves. That should be the story. But that's not the story because it doesn't fit the narrative. And that takes us back to what I was saying. And that same can hold true with other news agencies, other news agencies other than Fox News. But today, I wanted to talk about Fox News. And today, I wanted to expose Jesse Waters. And today, I made motherfucking time. Because I'm tired of people getting limelight and accolades and hits and views of making it seem like being conservative with the right or whatever the fuck, that is what black people need. And that ain't what black people need. Black people need information. We smart enough to make up our own minds, but we need accurate information. That's what we need. So when they try to scare black people into thinking that these crazy leftists want to defund the police and take cops out of the community, they're lying. I don't want cops out of my mom's community. I want the cops not to show up with guns for a mental health check. Okay? And when those cops show up, I don't want them to have immunity regardless of what they do there, while they're there. Okay? And I would like to have people, other mechanisms in place, like a place for the children to go out to school, jobs programs, training programs for people who finally get out of the fucking penal system so they can get a job. We got homeless populations of people who are mentally disabled, or people who should be medicated, who we dumped on the streets, right? Those people, we need to spend some of our money, not just hiring people with guns to push them from block to block or to another state or another city. We need to do something constructive, like house them. So there's a lot that we could do besides just throw money at the people with the guns. You're throwing money at people with guns and you're not even requiring that they use them responsibly. I just told you at the beginning of the show, there's roughly 1,000 cop killings every year, and only 7 in the last 15 years have been convicted. So I just want to expose that. Because when I hear people talking shit about BLM, they're not talking about this fucking Fox News. They're not talking about the lies that they perpetrate. But they obviously like watching Fox News to get their talking points. But they don't watch the Tim Black Show to get talking points about BLM, but also the pushback about BLM and their handling of funds. But what about the handling of Fox News? And what about the lies about defund the police? What about the lies that are perpetrated by these so-called conservatives? So, yeah, there's criticism around the board that's healthy that I think should be made. But it starts to look like they're kowtowing or they're supporting some bullshit when they leave out how horrible these people on the right can be, or these conservative broadcasters, newscasters can be, these spokesmodels for these narratives. There is no one on the team of the people. You understand? That's what people need to get. There is no entity on the team for the people other than independent media. And that independent media can't be trying to get jobs on Fox News or MSNBC. It's got to be independent media that's focused on what the people, the truth, giving truth to the people. That's the type of independent media that you need. That's the type of independent media when 5 or 6 of them are doing the same topic from the same vantage point every Tuesday. Because they all got the same press release from the same donors. That's why they're doing the same stories. All right. Mrs. Black sent me some water because she's like, Tim, you're... Give it up for Mrs. Black, y'all. She's like the cut man in my corner. Mike Tyson had a cut man like on Rocky. Rocky gets all cut up. Well, Mrs. Black is my cut person that it pushes me back out there into the ring. Go back out there and fight. I'm joking. She's a lot more than that. She's my Sharia Moore. All right. That's it. That's it, man. Go to jointimblack.com, become a member. Sally Times and Tim, I was hot yesterday in Portland, Oregon at 117 degrees. Jesus Christ. Woo! What'd they have the heat on? Hell? But I'm cool tonight. It's 72 degrees. God! Hold on a second. Hold on. We are in the last days. It was 117 degrees yesterday in Portland, Oregon. Today or tonight is 72. Portland been smoking some good weed. And when I say Portland, I mean the sky. Portland, Oregon, the city, just the whole, like, all the wood. Because when I went to Portland, man, I performed in Portland. I had a great time. Did some stand-up, did some political stand-up in Portland. Shout out to Portland, Oregon. Great people in Portland. And also great weed in Portland. A lot of weed in Portland. I mean, people were just giving me weed, like shaking my hand and had weed in their hand. Just, hey, Tim Black. I'm like, hey, you dropped? They were just giving out, and they had their own stuff. Just handing out. I said, I can't take this with me, right? Because Maryland it's not, TSA will grab my ass. But so that's what I think the problem is in Portland, man. Because obviously, Portland is high. Because, I mean, come on, if you Mother Nature in Portland and you go from one, I mean, Portland got high flashes. 117 to 72, come on, man. That's, all right, y'all, check this out. That's it. I'm talking too much. The show's over. I had enough to say. Right. We good, guys. We good. Okay, look. Tomorrow during the day, I'm going to cover some more stories. I'm going to come back at you with Pause with Tim Black. That's the new show. That's what we're doing here. We're using we'll be using the different set for that. I'm excited about the new show, Pause with Tim Black. It's mostly politics. It's going to be politics. Sometimes it's not going to be politics. It's not going to be this newsy background. It's going to be a more comfortable, relaxed, laid-back version of the Tim Black Show. And I enjoy doing that. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited about it. I'm ripping it around, ready to go, man. That's what's up. That's it. So be here for that tomorrow. I got nothing but love for you. I'll see you soon. Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. Tim Black and Night on Instagram. Go to NinaTurner.com. Let them know. Let Jim Clyburn know you ain't running nothing over here. Nothing. Okay? People power is the only power we're interested in. And we're not backing candidates that go in to kiss Joe Biden's ass. We need somebody to go in, work with Joe where they can, but challenge him when he's not working for us. We need to challenge him to do more for the people. That's what you need to do. That's the type of attitude we must have you have if you're going to go to Washington. That's it. That's all. All right, Ty, it's getting late, brother. All right. Ty said he's on the phone. Jesus Christ. Let's see what Ty has to say. What's going on, Ty? You live?
Hey, Tim, thanks for taking my call.
Okay, brother.
Thanks for taking my call, Tim.
No problem.
Just wanted to say a couple of things about the police. I think we got to institute some changes that I hadn't heard a whole lot of people talking about. These cops got to stop working more than 40 hours a week. They do all kinds of overtime. Their entire life is being on the streets, carrying this gun, dealing with threats and all of that. And we can't let them keep working all of this overtime. We got to put some limitations on how many hours a week they can be on the street. And I would even say closer to 20 hours, but definitely not more than 40. And another thing is that for every so many hours they're on the street, they need to have a therapist or a counselor or somebody to keep their mind right, because once they take that job, even if they take that job and they're a good person, it's not long before that job changes who they are. I see a lot of officers as customers out doing my job. And I can tell that they're an officer, even if they're not in uniform, most of the time before I even speak to the person. They carry themselves a certain way. They put off an aura, and there's something real to that and tangible. And I don't know what it is, but it's definitely real because I can feel it. So we have to do that. And then I had one question for the Wolf Pack because I was just looking for some resources, and it's kind of a heavy topic, and I don't really know how to approach it. But I've got a friend back in St. Louis, Missouri, and I think he has the potential to become violent and do something kind of crazy. And I don't know, if I call the police for a wellness check and tell them that I'm concerned about my friend, and he's armed, they're going to show up not exactly ready to do a wellness check. So I didn't know. I've been trying to figure out, he's kind of a weird guy anyway. I've known him since I was in middle school. And I was trying to figure out how to identify what's a warning sign and what's just, my friend being his weird self. So if anybody has any resources that I could, educate myself a little bit more about it. There's no one particular thing. It's just a lot of things put together. Like he comes from a very racist family. When he was 18, he got a big iron cross tattooed on his forearm, and then he ended up getting it blacked out, and he talked to me one day and he said, I realized this is the way I used to be and it was terrible. But then Trump got elected president for 4 years, and then he went totally backwards the other way over the last 4 years. And then he doesn't have much luck with the ladies or any friends or social life to speak of. And then he spends $8,000 on it. And if Abigail's listening, earmuffs, but he spent $8,000 on a real doll, and he buys the clothes, and now he's sending me pictures of him watching TV with it and playing poker with it. And then the other day sends me some text about he's going to start carrying his gun to work because he's afraid of all this BLM stuff. And I'm getting kind of scared that this is going down a weird road, and I didn't know what resources to look towards, and I don't want to necessarily, I don't know if it's to the point where I need to send armed police officers to his house because he hasn't made any violent threats or anything like that. But the whole thing, everything combined, is really weird. So I'm just at a loss for resources, and I apologize for bringing this up on your show if it's completely inappropriate, but I didn't know what else to do with this information. I even called one other person that we went to high school with that still lives up there, and he doesn't have any answers either. So what's a warning sign, and what's just my friend being a weirdo? Wow. So I'm sorry to lay a heavy on that at this time of the night, but thank you for letting me do it.
Wow, brother. Thank you, Ty. I'm glad we took the call, man. Jesus Christ, man. What a predicament, brother. What a predicament, man. Well, Ty, friends don't call the cops on friends, because we know how that story can end. And too often I've covered stories like that. You know that. And actually, that's why you're asking. Because if you don't agree with me on this, you would already have called the cops. So I know you get that. I know you understand that. Folks, I really don't know what to tell Ty to do here. If there is actually another... See, that's the thing. Shouldn't there be another entity that Ty could call? It should be. There should be another entity that you could call to help people. Not sober guns, already thinking this guy's off, I don't know what this guy's going to do. And anything the guy does, they have a hammer and they go bam. That's it. So that's the predicament a lot of Americans are in. With family members, with friends, with neighbors, what have you. Look at Tatiana Jefferson. A next door neighbor said her door was open. Not that he saw a strange person with a gun. Not that she heard screams coming from the house and blood in the windows. He called because it was late or early in the morning. Her front door was ajar. It was open, and he was worried. So he calls the police. The police don't even go in the door. They creep around the house. They look through windows. They see a Tatiana playing video games with her nephew. And they think, and they get spooked. And the Tatiana's like, who's that outside my window? She goes to defend herself. They kill her. The end. That's when the wellness check got Tatiana Jefferson in her own home. Not because someone was purporting that she was possibly mentally unstable, but that her door was open. That's all it took. So, of course, Ty, man, I understand your hesitation. I respect it. I appreciate it. And I agree with your hesitation. Folks, if you got any ideas on what course of action is best at this point, yeah, it's tough. That's a tough one. And then on the other side, I'm sure Ty's worried, like, what if this guy does something? And I could have prevented it and I didn't. Tough dilemma, right? It's a good reason not to have too many friends, Ty. No, I'm joking, man. I'm joking. But Ty's earlier, his first point was very important because it's something that should be stated and that Jesse Waters should care about. If they were giving money to the police department to hire more officers, but instead of hiring more officers, they said, hey, guys, let's just do more overtime. Yeah, let's just do overtime. Well, at some point, you get this thing called diminishing returns because there's only so much time a person should be able to spend awake, consecutive hours of wakeness, or a lack of sleep, or sleep deprivation. Also, I thought cops are supposed to be having such stressful jobs. If the job is so stressful, shouldn't they have a governor on how much time they should spend on the job? That only makes sense because it's so stressful, so dangerous, right? And we all know window washers have much more dangerous jobs. There are a lot more dangerous jobs than being police officers. But Americana, the media, the movie industry has sold us on this idea that being a police is the most dangerous job in the world. If you work on a boat, it's a more dangerous job. Working on a boat is a more dangerous job than being a police officer. Being a fisherman is a more dangerous occupation. And I would say that we need to pay police officers more money, but hire less police and also hire mental health experts and hire others, not just policemen, but have more different layers of civil service beyond policemen, besides guns in hand, other folks. And then hire better cops. Pay them more and hire better ones. But that's radical stuff. That's radical, crazy, weird shit, right? To say, yeah, well, instead of paying cops 40 grand, pay them 80 grand, right? But hire the better ones. And then hire some mental health professionals. And hire someone else to write tickets. And hire someone else to rescue cats out of freaking trees. Why are we hiring a guy with a gun to rescue a cat? Why is someone off their medication on a wellness check greeted by somebody with no fucking experience in mental health? That don't make sense. That cop doesn't know what to do. The only thing that cop knows how to do is that. And that's what they do, that. And that's what's got to change. All right. That's really all I got, guys. We're not doing the 111 numbers tonight. I'm not doing 111s. Thank you for being here tonight. I got a couple more comments. Thank you, Ty. Ty says thank you. Thank you, Ty. Christine supports the show. And that's it. I think that's it. Facebook, you guys good? There are hotlines that he can call with counseling. Fabricia Mitterholt says there are hotlines you can call What's up, Brian? How you doing, family? High wire electricians, way more dangerous. High wire electricians, hell yeah. He needs counseling. Yes. Susan Gould says that the high wire electricians have much more dangerous jobs. Call the Office of Mental Health, Ty, says Doreen Droppel. Get what I'm saying? Kim says, Tim, you're shattering the narratives like a wrecking ball. Well, hell, thank you. I appreciate y'all. So they don't want the truth. See, here's the thing, guys. I'm not saying anything on this show that I don't believe I'm saying anything on this show that's all that radical, that different. That's what's crazy. When regular folks who are not controlled by any party, who are not vying for jobs, so some people lie, they spin this false nonsense, you don't even got to hire them. They'll do it to get the job. See what I'm saying? So as long as when you get regular people, normal, regular black folks, white folks, people that keep it honest, right? Regardless of who you are, they're going to have more similar ideas. Most people have more similar ideas than you can imagine. They're going to be crazy. It's not crazy ideas that we have. But it's just that most of the time when we hear people talk who are given a platform, they have narratives. It doesn't match actual people's lives in the neighborhoods, in the communities. It's some shit cooked up in the studio. It's some shit written by a consultant. Get what I'm saying? That's where that comes from. So what I'm saying ain't crazy. I've had time to think about an issue and talk about it responsibly and consider my folks and consider the reality and then have an opinion. That's it. It's an informed opinion based in realness. Their commentary typically is a narrative designed by people that fund their shows. A narrative is designed by the president and the CEO or the public relations or whatever of some corporation. That's the only difference, guys. It's unique because I'm not a part of a group that has 5 or 6 people all getting the press release, or 20 agencies or 100 news companies all getting the same press release with talking points for a given story. So that's why it's refreshing. But what I'm saying ain't that radical. It ain't that different than what you would say if you were given a mic in time to look up an issue. You would have found that Jesse was a lying asshole, that he was lying about Oakland Police Department, just like that if you had time to look it up. I didn't dig. I didn't have to hire a private investigator to go down to Oakland, sift through boxes of documents to find out that Jesse's full of shit, to find out this police chief, Lorraine or whatever his name was, Lorraine was lying or not telling the full truth. Took a couple Google searches. But they lie to people and scare the hell out of them in order to push a narrative that results in donations, votes, and eyeballs on their nonsense. That's what it is. So I want to thank everybody here because you support independent media. I ain't pushing you to vote for a party. I'm not pushing you to believe shit. I'm just telling you the truth as I see it. That's it. And we'd be a better community, we'd be much better off if we had it that way. Y'all feel what I'm saying? All right, that's it. Thank you, Ty. Thank you, Peter. I don't know what the hell. Peter? What is wrong with Peter? Brother, sometimes my patience just can't take it, bro. But I don't want to say nothing harsh. I don't want to, But Jesus, brother. Come on, man. Come on, Johnson. Come on, Johnson. Shout out to Gary, who called up to get the ball rolling. It's okay, man. Tuesdays are always slow for some reason. It's people got to work Wednesday, and me coming on at midnight don't help. So it is what it is. We'll make up for it tomorrow. I'll be back at this again in a few hours. I'm the hardest working man in independent media. That's what it is. We good? Willie Gonzalez. Dewan. Dewan is not a member of the show. Dewan, you're not a member of the Wolfpack Man. Dewan Gray. I'm calling you out. Dewan Gray. Now, Dewan Gray always gives me great comments in my comment section. Oh, yeah, I'm talking, man, because Dewan, like Keith Weston, these are big supporters, like Violet, Content Boutique, Chrissy. These are great supporters of the show. Dewan Gray is always in my comment section, man, making great comments, adding to the conversation. Dewan, you need to become a member, man. Stop playing with me. You my friend, all right? So that's the problem, guys. Our community is small enough that I know my people. So that's the downside. I actually know y'all, all right? So, you know what I'm saying? Like some shows you be on when nobody know you. They don't, TYT ain't reading their comments. They're like this. Sam Cedar ain't reading no comments. David Packard ain't reading the comments. He's like this. I'm joking. I don't know if they read the comments or not, man. I'm busy, man. Take a joke. I'm going to start the Malcolm X Independent Network. What's wrong, man? That wouldn't be hijacking someone's name or reputation in order to boast of my YouTube success, would it? No. No. So that's why I got to shut up, man, because I get bad. I'm fighting for the people. I'm a fighter for black issues. Come on, Amber, let's go. Come on, Amber. Come on, Becky, let's go. Lord have mercy. Hey, man. It's okay, Johnson. It's okay. Dragons Talk. Dragon Talk Turk. Shit, I need somebody. Pepe La P. Pepe La DP. Oh. Okay, so the mayor, my brother's talking about Buffalo, New York. Oh, what's my sister's name? What's the sister that won the mayor's mayoral race, the Democratic primary in Buffalo, New York? I covered it. Damn it. David Packman is like mayo on white bread. India. That's it. India. Who said that? Nat A said India. Thank you, Nat. What's up, fam? Thank you, Johnson. India Watson. That's it. Damn it. India Watson. I hope she wins. I can't imagine how a Republican will win that. I think it's a pretty blue, solidly blue type location, right? City. So I don't think that's an issue. But yeah, she's tough, man. She's tough. And she ran on Medicare for All. She ran on policing, imagining a different policing, and she won. But Clyburn said this type of sloganeering is bad for us. What about the policy, Jim? Is the policy right for us? See, that's the thing. Is the policy right? F the slogans. You're supposed to tell people what the slogans mean. That's your job, Jim. Instead of them buttermilk biscuits, you need to be informing your constituents. Instead of scaring them, you need to be informing your constituents. Instead of picking up the bag, you need to be informing your constituents. What Killer Mike said wasn't wrong. If y'all motherfuckers want to be offended by the way somebody talks to Jim Clyburn, you need to go watch some of my content. The way y'all talked about Nina Turner over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years was horrific. And if all you got to complain about is Killer Mike said that Jim Clyburn's strategy was stupid, if that's all you got, you ain't got shit. Because y'all been calling Nina everything except she a mother, a child of God for the last 4, 5 years. People commented on her physical anatomy, the color of her skin, the darkness, the melanin in her bloodstream, calling her all types of mammies and Aunt Jemimas. So you shut the fuck up and stop defending Clyburn. Where were you, sister K-Hive members, when they were running Nina Turner down, treating her like garbage, discarding that black woman like that? Where was you at? But now, when somebody got something to say about Kamala Harris, you jump up, you got your arms up, you ready to fight. Somebody say something about Clyburn, you ready to dig in. Where were you when they were dogging out Nina Turner, man? Dragging her across Twitter. You didn't have shit to say. Because you ain't in it for ethics. You're not in it for the issues. You in it to support your person. Killer Mike can do nothing but tell the truth about Jim Clyburn. Soft ass. Candy ass. This ain't just, the hypocrisy needs to stop. They'll make a separate video. They'll maybe make a separate video now. All right, Crowded. Thank you, Crowded. Give it up for Crowded, man. No, man, they're not used to, see, here's the thing. They're used to commentators who want to go on MSNBC and CNN and kiss ass. They ain't used to people like me, right, who are willing to say, hey, I'm going to speak my truth wherever I go. If you won't have me, fine. I go somewhere else to talk shit about you. So you either going to let me on and you're going to hear this shit, or you're going to not let me on, but you still get to hear this shit. Because I'm not here to be placated. You're not going to muzzle me. I'm going to speak my shit. I'm going to talk truth to power. I'm going to tell it like a T.I. is. That's what's going to happen. That's a commitment I've made. So all this nonsense, all this crying, we got grown-ass black women supporting Kamala Harris clutching pearls. Clutching their damn pearls. Woman, I was brought up in the Paul Mooney School of telling shit like it is. And that, y'all gonna learn today. You're gonna learn today. Like people supposed to back Chantel Brown because Nina Turner said voting for Joe Biden and voting for Trump is like deciding between a whole bowl of shit and half a bowl of shit. Now, as harsh as that was, and hilarious as it was, she did consider Joe Biden the half a bowl. Now, I have never eaten shit, but if I was forced to eat shit, I would rather eat the half a bowl. So actually, what you're complaining about, Chantel Brown, was Nina's complimenting Joe Biden. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. You know, sort of like the way you look at you saying you wrote all this legislation. When I do the digging through and I get to the small print, I find out that your legislation was not written by you, it's written by a group of Democrats. And you're taking credit like you wrote it yourself.
90 seconds.
Taking credit for shit that was done as a group, as if you did some shit individually. But there'll be more time to have these conversations at length about your record. Now that I didn't take the gloves off when you called in the super PACs. I didn't take the gloves off when Hillary jumped in. But hey, man,
60
just call it baseball
seconds.
because this was your third strike with Clyburn. Now the gloves are off. Rumble, young man, rumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Somebody got to do it. Have these other assholes talking about, all these assholes talking about they don't support candidates, but they were supporting candidates just in 2020. Now, all of a sudden, the system suddenly got corrupt between now and 2020, where any support of any candidate is selling out. But in 2020, they supported a candidate and their followers didn't have nothing to say. It's just hypocritical as hell. And to be that naive, to ride with that is just nonsense. I believe those people are being paid
10 seconds.
to mislead. I mean, how else can you do that? I'm on a diet now. I don't eat that now. You were just eating this last week. Yeah, but eating that is horrible. You are a horrible person to eat that. You just was eating. These people are not, these people, you don't trust, man, look, man, they're going to be eating again next time. They'll be next time you see them, you're going to have to see them with a big pig sandwich. You hear me? Be eating they'll be eating some children next time you see them. Let's rumble, Johnson. And see how y'all do me, man? It's late and nobody else is up. Ain't nobody else up this late. My crazy ass the only one up live streaming. Mike Figueroa is asleep. Only person up is probably Corey Holcomb. Corey, you up? Only person up is the 5150 show. Ben Dixon might be up. Talking to Clyburn on the phone. Woo! Who's this nigga talking about me? Oh, well, I'm upset about it as much as I'm upset about it as much as you are upset about it. I'm upset about it too. I find it just ridiculous that he's talking. Shut up! I want to know who is this Tim Black talking mess about me. I know him. He talks a lot, but I'm Ben Dixon and I got your back and I support you. Just remember my name so that you can help me because I'm gonna need your help because I don't really have a backbone and I don't stand for anything. Would you shut up? I know you. And you know me. No, hold on a second. I don't know you, but you know me. You tell him that I said, shut his ass up. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to him as quickly as I can. I'm going to get in touch with him because you know me. That's what I do. I'm just looking. Can you get me on MSNBC? Can I get on TYT again? Can I? I sell my soul. Here go all my soul. Here go everything I go on. Everything I have. I give it all. I give it all for you. Shut up. Give me Tim Black. I don't like him, but I know he stands for something. Why? How the hell you get my number, boy? Well, show the ass off my phone. Use my phone. We need to co-op that Tim Black. How you not blow up? You've been on all these shows. You just ain't got it. I'm going to tell you, boy. You've been on everybody's show, kissing everybody's ass. Why you ain't bigger? How you gonna be kissing that you was on Dr. Boyce Watkins? Then you was with Sean King, MSNBC, CNN, TYT. You everywhere. It's still nowhere. I know you. How you bigger than you? You get all the breaks. Accept it, boy. I know it's going to hurt your feelings. I know. What happened to political clickbaity, political thirst trap? Why they get rid of you? You can't work with nobody. boy. I'm the most progressive person in Congress. Stop crying. Why you talk to me like that? I respect the hell out of you, Representative Clyburn. You're a good man, Clyburn. See, Mrs. Black, she be like, Tim, I told you, why did you do this? Baby, why are you making trouble? Baby. I can't help it, Mrs. Black. I had to do it. I had to get it on. You know what I'm saying? It be calling me. Truth is a hell of a drug. All right, guys. Have a good evening. Hey, look, man, you guys up late as hell. Why not I just say some shit? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we up late. We crazy. You crazy, I'm crazy. We crazy together. Why not say some things that people, you know. Hey, Ben would probably laugh at all of that shit. Because I think Ben was criticizing the hell out of Clyburn. He'd be like, Tim, you are full of shit, man. You know I don't like Clyburn. All right. That's it. Oh, my God. All right, guys. I'm out of here. I'm going to go get something to eat, something to drink, and see if Mrs. Black and I see if we keep hope alive. No more comments? All right, David. All right, Chrissy. Weedy, Keith, Shogun, Nat, Violet. Peace, y'all. Until we meet again. Woof, motherfucking pack.
Most news shows are suspect. They don't focus on black issues, and when they do, it's all fluff. How does that help your life? How does that help your family? How does that help the culture? They don't. The Tim Black Show is different. Tim Black gives you news for people who can't stand the news. Real, authentic, researched, entertaining, on point. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Visit www.timblacktv.com today. Get black breaking news, politics, culture from someone you can trust. timblacktv.com. Join us today.
Let me ask you something. Do they know us? When I say they, I mean the talking heads on cable news. Do they know you? I mean, they talk about the world as if it's a sport. They play political games, report on our pain, rack our brain to feed the stock exchange, but do they know us? Do they know what we care about? Nope. They're too far away. They can't see us. They can't feel us. They can't relate to us. See, when you want to know what's going on in your world, trust someone who lives in your world. Subscribe.
Thank you for